Howdy y'all, my name is ChucklesTC and welcome back to my Monoposto Indy NXT season, career, whatever you wants to call it. So let's see if we can't get an onboard right here. Right on board with Ricardo Escatos. He takes a tour around Saudi Arabia, around the Jeddah circuit. Matteo Nini leads Nikita Johnson in the championship by 5 points. So we're in for a thriller here, and our equivalent to the Detroit Grand Prix is you will look on the sponsors on the side of the track. There you see Little Caesars on the right. You'll see the City of Detroit logo around, like there on the right side wall. You'll see more Little Caesars. That's the Firestone banners. Can we get anything else fun? Okay, there's Fago sodas. And I think there's one more. I believe the last one that we've yet to see, okay, there it is Stroh's Beer. All the companies are either Detroit founded or, Firestone, title sponsor of the series. So that's a big one that was going to be on there anyways. But now we look to see who will raise a challenge. We've seen some crazy races. We saw Nicholas Strati, the driver who I call Strategy 4, win last time out in Monaco, win the Freedom 100. And its return to the Indy NXT calendar. That's a big deal for these teams. We'll see if that will start to turn his season around at all, as qualifying is truly underway here. We may have a handful of drivers be able to reach that second lap. Well, it's going to be hard to tell quite this early. There you see the fastest Sector 1 by Ganassi driver Niles Coolin. And this track isn't super incident prone, but when there's an incident, it tends to be a big one. Okay, last car is about to get off of their outlap and on to their hot laps. And we should have a car coming around in just a second to set the first actual timed lap. Right on board with Cleus McFarland, repping the classic colors. Connor Zelich will be the first across the line, and he'll take the checkered flag and set provisional pole. Niles Colin will bump him off of it right away. But with how clean the track has been all session long, I would not be surprised to see the two ECR Cape drivers stack it 1-2. I was trying to do something else while qualifying was going on, but it locks onto one driver. You see what I told you? I'd get these ones out at least on the day they're supposed to. So IndyCar will be out tomorrow. It will be out Sunday. I'll try to have it scheduled to release before the Detroit Grand Prix. But I have one, maybe two more cars to make before I record that video. And then that'll lead us to a little bit of fun when it's time to, or before the next round. I don't know where they head on the schedule, but I'll have a full week to make cars for that. But I believe this is one of the first night races we've had on the schedule this year, as Nikita Johnson will claim pole. Matteo Nini actually farther down than I figured he would be. But let's do the grid walk before the race. Took on pole Nikita Johnson. Second, Niles Coolin. Third, Miles Rowe. Fourth, Lockie Hughes. Fifth, Matteo Nini. Sixth, Connor Zelich. Seventh, Juan Manuel Correa. Eighth, Ricardo Escato. Ninth, Alexander Cabrera. 10th, Michael D'Orlando. 11th, Nicholas Strati. 12th, Tomac Khrushchev. 13th, Morgan Burkhart. 14th, Cletus McFarland. 15th, Liam Lawson. 16th, Raul Fernandez. 17th, Bryce Aaron. 18th, Jordan Miss. 19th, Nathan Nicholson. 20th, Max Taylor. 21st, Enzo Fittipaldi. 22nd, Sofia Flores. 23rd, Alejandro Tulio. And 24th, Nicholas Marino. I still need to fix the speed. And honestly, at this point, if I fix it, it's just rubbing it in that I never adjusted it in the first place. Okay, we're going to run for Stroudy. We're going to run I guess it's such a short race. I was thinking about the full IndyCar race. We are going to run a soft strategy, obviously. Running the mediums would be fun, and you'll have a little bit more pace on the last lap or so, but not enough for it to be worth it, in my opinion. And as we get off here, we'll look to see if they can make it down this starting grid clean. This is when the collections happen a lot of times, and these first handfuls of sweeping corners. You see, they're going a bit slower there, checking up a bit, but it appears that everyone will try to make it through clean. Not only try, but do. Oh, right as I'm saying that, now it's cool and sends cars around. It's one of the ECR Cape guys, I believe, that spun. Ooh. Time at cruise track causes a collision. And hits another car while he's at that. There you see, Miles Rowe is in the lead, followed by Lockie Hughes. Now it's Colin. Matteo Nini is in 5th. And Nikita Johnson was bumped down to 7th. 5 points separate those two in the championship. But is there a chance for Miles Rowe and Lockie Hughes to make advancements and gain positions up? Off track there for Sofia Flores. Look to see her gain a bit of pace if she ever wants to make it to the next step. Especially when she's supposed to be the replacement for Jimmy Johnson in a year or so. For my my IndyCar Series team. See Max Taylor with a poor qualifying effort. And now it's cool in trying to look to gain a bit of a gap on Juan Manuel Correa, who's now going to get passed by Matteo Nini. Ooh, off track there for Nini. Or Nanny? Yeah, we'll call him Nanny. I don't know. Fittipaldi, Enzo, with a contact penalty if I can click on him. And he's slow. Did he lose a wing? Can we get off of his car? I want to... No, he did not. He is just slower. It's a 4-second gap back to 4th. Nikita Johnson letting Matteo Nini get away from him a bit. Max Taylor in a battle with Bryce Aaron behind him. Looking to get around Nathan Nicholson. Bit of contact there. Bumping wheels, and he will lose the position to Bryce Aaron. Or no, Alejandro Tulio now is going to challenge him. Nicholson has gotten passed by Max Taylor. Correa has held onto the position, and Nikita Johnson has passed Matteo Nini. The ECR Cape guys are 5th and 6th. Running. As the cars in the back, ever so competitive, mixing it up, bumping a bit. Lockie Hughes in 2nd has the fastest lap. But if he cannot get around Miles Rowe, really in this next lap, he will have lost his advantage on the tires. If they're not gone already. I'm saying he still sort of has that advantage because of how close he's been able to keep it up to now. But now it's Coolin back in 3rd. Needs to pick up the pace a bit, catch up to Hughes if he can, or Rowe, and build that gap back to Juan Manuel Correa, Nikita Johnson, and Matteo Nini. Ricardo Escoto is in 10th, and he's the points cutoff right now. Ahead of him is Alexander Cabrera, Michael D'Orlando, Nicholas Strati up to 7th after starting 11th or 12th in the race. But Nikita Johnson sets a fast sector 3, and he crosses the line. Then it's Matteo Nini ahead of him, Manuel Correa, then Nikita Johnson up into 4th now. Now it's Cullen, Lockie Hughes, and 3 wide for P21 or 22. We have 2 to go now. Miles Rowe still leading. Who's MON? Nicholas Marino. 5-second penalty now as he's going to get passed by his teammate. And that almost secures a last place position for Marino with that penalty. D'Orlando in 11th, trying to gain the position on Morgan Burkhart. There's no cars out of this race yet as we are on lap 4. And Miles Rowe coming around the last turn to take the white flag. And he will. 1 lap to go. Can Miles Rowe hold on to it over Lockie Hughes? It's less than a second gap. Will Niles Cullen be able to get a gap over Nikita Johnson and make it 5 seconds and hold on to that podium? I don't think he will. Can Manuel Correa get a gap and start to build up pressure on Nikita Johnson and keep that ECR Cape driver off of the podium? And Khrushchev is going to fall so bad here, and it really sucks for him. Miles Rowe with the fastest sector 1, but Lockie Hughes gaining time behind him. Nikita Johnson now with the fastest sector 1. 3/10 faster than Miles Rowe's time this lap. He's on old soft tires. Nikita Johnson is going to, he's still gaining time on Niles Cullen. Will Miles Rowe be able to hold off Lockie Hughes here, who sets the fastest sector 2, is going to have DRS. Where Miles Rowe will not. Lockie Hughes is going to try to make a move. Can he get it done? Side-by-side contact with the leaders. Lockie Hughes to the lead around the final corner. Miles Rowe will have DRS, but he will not be able to use it enough, as Lockie Hughes will set the fastest lap and win the race, followed by Niles Cullen in 3rd. He will get penalized and move down to 4th. Nikita Johnson will finish 3rd. Manuel Correa in 5th. Matteo Nini 6th. Nicholas Strati 7th. Alexander Cabrera 8th. Ricardo Escoto 9th. Michael D'Orlando 10th. Tomek Khrushchev 11th. Morgan Burkhart 5-second penalty for Alejandro De Tulio. As Nicholas Marino is now off track, and I believe so is De Tulio. So the AJ Foyt teammates come together, and they will finish 23rd and 24th. What an insane race we had here in Saudi Arabia, Detroit. I mean, same difference in reality. But there you go. We called a 7th place finish on strategy. A bit of beating and banging as he only had 88% left in his car. And there you see on the Little Caesars victory podium in 3rd place for ECR Cape, Nikita Johnson, the American. In 2nd place for Able Motorsport, Miles Rowe, the American. And in 1st place with that excellent move onto the final corner, your race winner from Australia for Andretti Global, Lockie Hughes. What an incredible race. Both those front 2 guys are technically championship competitors fighting the ECR Cape guys, and they will have gained a little bit on both the ECR guys. So you see your finishing order, like I said, Niles Cullen actually drops down to 5th, while Manuel Correa takes 4th. So Niles Cullen in 5th, Matteo Nini in 6th, the other ECR Cape driver, Nicholas Strati in 7th, winner last time out in the Freedom 100. Alexander Cabrera 8th, Ricardo Escoto 9th, Michael D'Orlando 10th, Morgan Burkhart 11th, Raul Fernandez 12th, Connor Zilic 13th, Tamit Khrushchev, 14th. Clayce McFarland, 15th. Liam Lawson, 16th. Jordan Missick, 17th. Nathan Nicholson, 18th. Max Taylor, 19th. Bryce Aaron, 20th. Sophia Flores, 21st. Enzo Fittipaldi, 22nd. Nicholas Moreno, 23rd. And Alejandro de Tulio, 24th. And here is your points leaders. With 130 points, Nikita Johnson takes the lead over Matteo Nini, who has 128 points. That is a 2-point gap. 20 points behind second place is Lucky Hughes now with 108 points. And 20 more points behind him is Miles Rowe. So another poor day for Nikita Johnson and Matteo Nini, and a win for Lucky Hughes, and Lucky Hughes is locked into this championship battle. Same with Miles Rowe. If he can get a couple good days, all those leaders have bad days. Our driver, Nicholas Strati, had a very slow start to the season. He's up to 62 points in 7th. McFarland with 59 points in 8th. In the 5th in the championship is tied between Waman Wakaria and Michael DiOrlando with 63 points each. I guess we'll go ahead and do the top 10. Niles Collins in 9th with 58 points. Alexander Cabrera is in 10th with 51 points. Only driver did not score points yet is Enzo Fittipaldi, real-life winner on IndyGP Race 1 for the Indy NXT Series. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and come back next episode. We will be racing in China. Thank you all. Hope you have a good one. Goodbye.